Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we have seen breadth first search algorithm and we used a queue there. So what we will do in this video is to replace this queue with a stack and study a graph traversal algorithm called depth first search algorithm, in short DFS. In this video, we are going to discuss the depth first search or the DFS, and the data structure that we are going to use is a stack. So as before, we are given a source vertex yes to begin the traversal. So we'll first do the initialization. So initialization is as before, the pi of I to be set as -2. And we have a flag that is a boolean variable associated with every vertex, which will tell us whether the node has been deleted from the stack at any point of time. So I repeat, so what we are going to consider here is this will be set as true only when the vertex will be deleted from the stack. So unlike in the BFS, what we did in the BFS is that when we added an element into the queue, we changed the flag to true. But that's not what we're going to do here. So what we're going to do is that when an element is deleted from the stack, we are going to set the flag as true. So the invariant is that if v of I is going to be true, indicates that this vertex has been deleted from the stack. So we get started with the stack that we have. We'll call it as yes, that is the stack that we have, and this is source vertex. We push that into the stack, set pi of s to be -1. So now as long as the stack is not empty, you pop the element. So the element that is being popped is u. Now you check whether the flag of that is false. If the flag of that is false, that means that is being deleted for the first time. Only then you do these operations. But if the flag of u is already true, then you do nothing. You don't consider the adjacent vertices of it. If it is false, that means that when you deleted a vertex for the first time, you change the flag of that to be true because this has been deleted now. Now you consider every outgoing edge from here. And you set the check the flag of the vertex v. If it is false, that means that if it is not deleted, even if it is there in the data structure, we're going to push that again into the data structure and set when you push again, you set the pi of v to be u. So that means that the vertex v has been discovered by the vertex u. Notice that in the case of BFS, every vertex was added into the queue only once, but in the case of a DFS, a vertex may be added into the stack more than once, right? But we are going to consider the edge outgoing from here only when it is deleted for the first time, right? So when you delete a vertex from the stack for the first time, you check, you set the value to be true, and then you consider all the edges outgoing from there. If the same vertex will be deleted next time, the flag of that particular vertex will be true. In that case, you don't do anything, right? So so we will not do anything, right? So we will consider the edge outgoing from you only when you delete the vertex for the first time. Let's look at this example. So as before, we take the same directed graph. We push the first element into the stack. The stack is shown here. Initially I have the vertex 0. So we set, so now we are going to pop this out. When we pop this out, we set the flag of v to be true. So after you pop, and now there are two edges which are outgoing from here. So one is the vertex edge 1 and the edge 0 comma 2. Let's say that I push, I consider the edge 0 comma 2 first, and then push 2 into the stack, and then push 1 into the stack. When you push 2 into the stack, I set pi of 2 to be 0, and when I push 1 into the stack, I consider pi of 1 to be 0. So when you push an element into the stack, the flags don't change. Flags will continue to be false. the flags of 1 and 2 will continue to be false, but the pi function will change to 0 and 1, 0 and 0 comma 0, and the stack will look like this. I assume that 2 is pushed into the stack and then 1 is pushed into the stack. In other words, if you look at the adjacency list of 0, it looks like 2 comma 1. So I push 2 first and then 1 first. For the same graph, you can have another adjacency list which where the edge 0 comma 1 appears before 0 comma 2. In other words, if you look at the adjacency list of 0, it will be 1 2. In that case, I might have pushed 1 and then pushed 2. So what you're going to see is that if you once you fix the adjacency list of the given graph, then the traversal is going to be unique. But if you for the same graph, if you use a different adjacency list representation, the DFS tree that you're going to get may be different. Okay, so now we pushed 2 first and then pushed 1. So what is there on the top of the stack is 1. So I'm going to pop this out. When you pop 1 out of the stack, I'm going to set the flag of that to be true, and then look at the adjacent vertices of it. Adjacent vertices of it is 2 and 3. Both are still false. So I'm going to update. I'm going to push 2 again, and I'm going to also push 3 again. Right. So and then set the pi function of these two accordingly. I pop 1 out of the stack. Then I pushed 2 again because I considered the edge 1 comma 2 before I considered the edge 1 comma 3. I popped 1 out, I pushed 2 and I pushed 3. When you push 2, the pi function of 2 changes to 1, pi function of 3 also changes to 1, and since 1 was popped out, I set the v value of this v value of that one to be true. So now what's there on the top of the stack is 3. When you pop 3 out of the stack, we're going to change the flag of that 3 to be true, but 3 doesn't have any adjacent vertex. In other words, the adjacency list of 3 is empty, so there is no edge to be considered, right? So you do nothing when you pop 3 out. So after you pop 3 out, the stack will look like 2 comma 2, and the flag for 3 has been changed to true. So now you pop 2 out of the stack. When you pop 2 out of the stack, you change the flag of 2 to be true. Then there is only one edge which is outgoing from 2, which is 4. So you add that into the stack. So I set the pi of value of 4 to be true. That's precisely what we do. So you pop 2 out and pushed 4 inside. Now when you pop 4 comes out of the stack. When 4 comes out of the stack, so the adjacent vertices of that is 1 and 3, but the flag of 1 is true and flag of 3 is also true, so you don't end up adding 1 and 3 into the stack. So when you pop 4 out, you just change the flag of 4 to be true, and you will consider the adjacent vertices, but the adjacent vertices already flag true, you do nothing. Then you pop 2 out. So now when you pop 2 out, the flag of 2 is already true. So you do nothing. So you don't consider the adjacent vertices of it and continue, right? So you don't do that because the flag of 2 is already true. So after you pop 2 out of the stack is empty, our algorithm stops. So this is what we get. So you notice that v values of all the vertices to be true. That means that we have visited every vertex, and the pi of 1 is 0, pi of 2 is 1, pi of 3 is 1, and pi of 4 is 2. So if you look at the collection of edges of the type pi of v comma v for all the vertices except for the first vertex, so what you get is the tree which is shown on the right hand side, right? So pi of 1 is 0, pi of 3 is also 1, pi of 2 is 1, and pi of 4 is 2, right? So this is the tree which is called as the DFS tree for this traversal. For the same graph, if you change the adjacency list representation, so we considered that the adjacency list of 0 is 2 comma 1, but if you make it as 1 comma 2, you might get a different DFS tree. So what happens in the case of DFS tree is that I started with 0, then I went to the first vertex, which is 1. From 1 I went to the vertex 3. From 3 I could not go anywhere else, so I came back to the vertex 1. Then I explored, so what are all the other vertices that I can reach from 1. So I went to 2, from 2 I went to 4, from 4 I could not find any new vertex which is not being visited. Unlike the BFS, in the case of DFS, what you do is that you start with one vertex, go to the next vertex which has not been visited, and from that vertex you go to the next vertex, keep going, continuing this process as long as you visit new vertices. So when you can't go visit a new vertex, you start backtracking and continue the process. Okay, so that's why this is the breadth first. You start with one friend, then you visit one of his friend and keep continuing this. After you finish visiting all the vertices which are reachable from the first friend, then you come back and consider your second friend and repeat the process, right? So you start with 0, then you went to 1. Now you try to visit all the vertices which are reachable from 1, right? So once you finish doing this, then if there are any other vertex which is adjacent to 0, which has not been visited during this process, go there and try to apply the same algorithm again. So the summary is that so you go, as long as the stack is not empty, so what you're going to do is that you're going to pop an element from the stack, and when an element is popped for the first time, you're going to consider all the edges. So even though the node is being added into the stack more than once, you're going to consider the outgoing edges from this particular node only when you delete it for the first time. So every node is going to be, every edge is going to be considered exactly once. Now when you consider an edge, you might end up pushing the endpoint into the stack. So the total number of pushes that might happen can be m during the execution of the algorithm, because when you consider every edge, you might end up adding the endpoint into the stack. So every edge is going to be considered exactly once. So the total number of pushes into the stack is exactly maybe at most m, and so if the number of pushes is at most m, then the number of pops is also going to be at most m. Since the push and pop can be implemented in constant time, the total number of push and pops during the algorithm will take only order m time, and every edge is going to be considered exactly once. So in order to consider an edge, we have to look at the flag of the endpoint, and if that is false, you may have to add this and change the flag and set the pi function. That is for each consideration of the edge you take constant time. So for considering every edge, it will take order m time. So in summary, DFS takes order m time, but when you consider an edge, the endpoint may be pushed into the stack. So the number of pushes may be order n. So you need order m additional space to implement the DFS. So in the case of BFS, you added every node exactly once. So the amount of additional space required in the case of BFS was linear in terms of the number of nodes, but here you may end up adding a node more than once. But what we are saying is that the total amount of additional space that the DFS algorithm uses will not be more than order m. So in this video, we have seen the depth first search algorithm, or the DFS, using a stack, but in practice the DFS is not implemented this way. This is what is called as the iterative DFS, but in practice what people use is what is known as the recursive DFS. But when you use the recursion, you know that the recursion uses stack implicitly. So we will come back to the recursive implementation of DFS algorithm in one of the future classes and look at some of the applications of DFS. Let's take a break and come back.